Okay, good evening.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, we're good?
Yeah.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the Bogota Board of Education regular meeting, March 31st, 2020 at 7 p.m. Can you please stand for the flag salute?
I have a flag.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Very good, thank you. The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the Bogota Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting to be published by having the date, time, and place thereof posted in the Bogota Borough Hall, communicated by letter to the record, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Bogota, and posted on the Bogota Board of Education website. Irfin, can you call the roll, please?
Excuse me, please. Lisa?
Mrs. Olbers?
Yes.
If I bring up an issue of privilege, I find something I'd like to say. According to parliamentary procedures, I can. Something I'd like to read, please. And I ask that the following statement be included in its entirety in the minutes of this evening's meeting.
Can we, excuse me, can we first take the roll call? So then.
No, I have the right to interrupt with this. This is a privilege motion. I have a right to interrupt.
But the meeting hasn't.
Statement to Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Edsel once I am done. Thank you. I raise a dire concern this evening for the procedure followed in an attempt to fill the seat on this board left vacant by the immediately effective resignation of Jim Moore on January 29th, 2020. The board was advised by the board president, Mrs. Coles, that no action needed to be taken on the resignation according to New Jersey school boards. Our attorney did not advise otherwise. The board office advertised. There were 3 applicants. 1 withdrew. There was a 4-4 tie for the remaining 2. Discussion ensued on sending the matter to the county superintendent. Instead, the board re-advertised at the direction of the board attorney. There were 3 letters of intent received. Additionally, a letter to rescind his resignation was received from Mr. Moore. No action was taken on that letter, and there was no letter of intent. Interviews for the second round were on the agenda for March 10th. However, the board president called for an immediate closed session for attorney conversation. The conversation which ensued in closed session was, in my opinion, not a closed session conversation, but one which should have, by policy and law, been held in public. The law clearly states that the public has every right to hear our deliberations on such a matter. The board was led to believe that if the matter went to the county superintendent, that any individual could be assigned to the board, perhaps not even one of the 4 who was submitted. I feel this was a tactic to intimidate board members. One candidate was eliminated as he was not present for the interviews, an important fact to keep in mind. It is important to note in his defense that the deadline for letters of intent was that same day, and the applicants were only advised that interviews were that night after they submitted their letter. A second candidate was not given much discussion. She was not present. A third candidate, a former board member, was blamed for district problems in the past, but those who accused him of such could not cite a single incident when I asked for specifics. He was the only one present that evening. The fourth candidate was the former member who had resigned. He was not present. The board reconvened and opened. There were no interviews as scheduled on the agenda and no motion to dispense with the regular order of business. Instead, the board president called for a roll call. Excuse me. Instead, the board president called for a roll call. I interjected with a motion as required by board policy number 143 to nominate Mr. Severino, the only candidate present, and the attorney, Ms. Simon, took over the floor, denied my right to make a motion, said that she was in charge. I thought the superintendent and president were in charge, and instructed Mr. Edsel to proceed with the roll call. He did so. The result was 5-2. 1 member was absent. The board operates under Robert's Rules of Order. We function according to Robert's Rules and board policy. Robert's Rules on Voting, Article 8 are as follows. Number 47, votes that are null and void even if unanimous. No motion is in order that conflicts with the laws of the nation or state or with the Assembly's constitution or bylaws. And if such a motion is adopted, even if by unanimous vote, it is null and void. In light of these facts, I submit that the vote for Mr. Moore was in violation with our bylaws number 164 and policy 143, and therefore null and void. And I forthwith nominate Charles Severino to still fill the still vacant seat. May I have a second, Steph?
Thank you for your statement. I stand by my legal guidance. I submit that it is my legal opinion that the Board of Education has done everything under law that is permissible for them to fill the vacancy. Please call the roll, Mr. Efsel.
I have a motion on the floor.
No, the motion is out of order. The motion is out of order.
Kathy?
As
Kathy,
Nathaniel,
Kathy,
Call the
Kathy?
roll.
please,
I'm going to
let's
take
listen
this
to the board.
to Office of Attorney Ethics.
That's fine. And I would like to make a note, Kristen Meberg was at the meeting, another
I
candidate,
apologize. I apologize.
just as a record, yes. Okay, Irfin, can you call the roll,
Jim,
please?
nothing personal.
I
It's
don't-
done wrong.
Mrs. Alvarez?
Irfin, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Present.
Mrs. Kearns?
Present.
Mrs. Lewis?
Here.
Mr. McHale?
Here.
Mrs. Miller?
Here.
Mr. Moore?
Here.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Present.
Ms. Montgomery?
Here.
Mrs. Coles?
Here.
We have the quorum.
Thank you. Also present is Mr. Kennedy, our superintendent, Nathaniel Simon, our board attorney, Mr. Efsel, our board administrator, and Elizabeth Ruiz, our board secretary. At this time, can I have a motion to open up to public comments on agenda items only?
So moved, Pat McHale.
Pat, motion?
Second, Amanda.
Second by Amanda. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, do we have anyone for public comments on agenda items only? Okay, I see nobody coming through. Can I have a motion to close public comments?
So moved, Pat.
Pat?
Second, Sabrina.
Second by Jim Moore. Okay, so we're going to move on to the superintendent's report. Mr.
Okay,
Kennedy?
couple things. First, there's two corrections on the minutes that we want to point out. First is on 2/25/20, it says Mr. Moore was present. It should be changed to Mrs. Kearns. Also on 2/11, it said Mr. Moore seconded to return to public session. That should be changed to Mr. McHale. I'm also walking in 3 items tonight. Oh, wait. Look in here because people are chatting. I can't see if anyone's saying anything. It only says only chat is available for public. But if they raise their, Frank, how do we just open it up to the public? Unmute everybody
Oh, yeah, 1 second.
because I don't have that ability.
I'll make you host right now.
Oh wait, all attendees.
All right, you are host right now.
All right, I'm just trying to see where it says allow people to. Right now, only they could chat. So I guess if anyone in public has a question, please just put it in the chat box on agenda items.
And then we'll enable them.
Or if they raise their hand, I think I can unmute them. I can unmute them if they want to talk, if they raise their hand or put a question in the chat box. So if anyone has a question, ask now. If not, we'll come back with public comments at the end. So I'm going to continue my superintendent's report. We're walking in 3 addendum items tonight. The first is using a snow day after spring break on that Monday that we return. Also, we're hiring a maternity leave for Dale because Dale is expecting at the beginning of May. So we want to get someone in place for that in case the baby comes early. Also, we have a resolution to oppose Assembly Bill 3902, and this permits municipalities to delay the quarterly transmission of property tax revenues to school districts. This was something that school boards put out, and they're asking all school district and boards of educations to approve this and then send it down to the DOE and to the state and all people involved in this, because this could set us back if we're not paid quarterly taxes to pay our staff. A couple other things. First, window project at Bixby is complete. Just punch list items are being done now. We've actually slowed down. With construction coming in because we're trying to really keep that social distance right now. So contractors we don't have even coming in right now. As you all know, the governor announced that he will not even revisit opening schools until April 17th. So I believe it's going to be a little bit longer than that. So we're going to continue doing what we're doing. I'm going to give you a little recap right now. First, all state testing has been canceled this year, which is a little bit of a relief for teachers because right now these 2 months before testing would be major prep time. So we're able just to concentrate on this remote virtual learning experience right now. I got to give a ton of credit to our teachers, to our administrators, our district administrators, the amount of collaboration that has been going on the last 3 weeks. Our IT department, we have deployed over 400 Chromebooks. We've given out hotspots to people that do not have internet. We are a work in progress right now, but I feel very confident in the direction that we're moving. And I cannot stress how much our teachers and administrators and everyone has jumped on board and I think has made the best of this situation. Like we have teachers from different buildings communicating and collaborating every day in Google Chats and Google Meets. It's great to see. Also, just as a district, so everyone's aware, we did have extra PPE equipment for the county to give to the hospitals that we've had extra. So we collected everything that we had that we can give up, and they came and picked it up last week. So we're helping there as well, too. We have been giving out grab-and-go meals from 10 to 12 for free and reduced students. We actually right now have just got the approval to give out free lunch to every person that is 18 years or younger in the district. So they don't have to qualify for free and reduced. As long as they are 18 or younger, they don't even have to go to Bogota schools. They qualify to come pick up a grab-and-go meal. Originally, we were not going to give it out during spring break. The Commissioner of Education sent out an email yesterday asking everyone to continue meals during spring break. So we spoke to Pomptonian today and we set it up. So we're going to continue that as well and give lunches out and grab-and-go meals every day during spring break because we feel that as this continues, more and more people are going to need those grab-and-go meals. Some good news, we did pass CUSAC. I know we sent emails out, but we really haven't had a chance to let people know that yet, which is a great thing for us. So we passed on the first shot. We're good to go for the next 3 years. And right now, what our focus in on is making this is our new normal right now. So we're trying to figure out as we go, we're going to start planning on what we have to do if we're going to be out for 2 months, 3 months. So we're going to continue. We meet as administrators 2 or 3 times a week in Google Meets and Zoom, and we're sitting down and talking. So we're going to try and make the best of our situation and just continue working to do that. So that's where we are at right now.
Okay, thank you. Move on to approval of minutes for February 11th, 2020, work session, open and closed. February 25th, 2020, regular meeting, open and closed. Can I have a motion?
So moved, Pat.
Pat, motion?
Second by Kathy.
Second by Kathy?
As amended.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? No questions? Irfin, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez,
Present. Here, I'm sorry. Yes.
Mrs. Kearns,
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis,
Yes.
Mr. McHale,
Yes.
Mrs. Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Moore,
I recuse myself. I wasn't present.
Mrs. Van Buren,
Yes.
Ms. Montgomery,
Yes.
Mrs. Coles.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. We'll move on to policy 331-2001 to 331-2017. Can I have a
So
motion?
moved. Kathy, so moved.
Kathy, second?
Second, Amanda.
Amanda? Okay, does anybody have any discussion?
Just one, if I may.
Okay.
It's Kathy. On number, excuse me, I didn't make a note. 1 second. Uh, 1 second. No, never mind. I'm not fine. Oh, yes, I'm sorry. On resolution number 07, policy 6150, tuition income. Damien, I think there were some guidelines that needed to be developed for that. Do you know if
Yes,
that was?
I believe that changes each year, so Irfin gives us
Okay.
a number.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? No? Irfin, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yeah.
Mrs. Kearns?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Macchio?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes. Excuse
Ms.
me.
Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. We'll move on to education, 3/31/2018 to 3/31/2021. Can I have a motion?
So
Kathy.
moved, Pat.
Pat,
Second, Kathy.
second by Kathy. Any discussion? No discussion. Irfin, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Macchio?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, under education, we have an addendum, 3/21/2033 to 3/21/2034. Can I have a motion?
So moved,
Pat?
Second, Amanda.
Okay, do we have any discussion? No discussion. Irfin, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis? Mrs. Lewis, I couldn't hear you, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Mr. Macchio?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. Move on to personnel, 3/31/2022 to 3/31/2023, and added to the agenda is 3/31/2024. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Pat? Second?
Second.
Sabrina.
Second by Sabrina. Any discussion? No discussion. Irfin, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Macchio?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. And we have an addendum under personnel, 3/21/2035. Can I have a motion?
So
So
moved.
moved, Kathy.
Second by
Kathy.
Kathy. Any discussion? No discussion. Irfin, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Macchio?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes.
Ms. Montgomery?
Yes.
Mrs. Coles?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Thank you. We'll move on to finance, 3/31/2025 to 3/31/2032. Can I have a motion?
So moved,
Motion,
Pat.
Amanda.
Pat, seconded by Amanda. Any discussion? No discussion. Irfin, can you call the roll, please?
Mrs. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mrs. Kearns?
Yes.
Mrs. Lewis?
Yes.
Mr. Macchio?
Yes.
Mrs. Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Moore?
Yes.
Mrs. Van Buren?
Yes on all, but on number 25, I vote no. On check number 024829. And also on check number 024, 843.
Okay,
Okay. Ms. Montgomery,
Yes.
Mr. Pauls,
yes,
motion carried.
thank you. We'll move on to committee reports. Does anybody have any committee reports? No committee reports. Does anybody have any old business?
What's the status of negotiations?
We are trying to coordinate. We're in the final steps of it. We're trying to coordinate so that we can do something like this. And with Brian Reiser, the benefits provider for us.
Right.
And we haven't set a proposal yet, but we'll run it by everybody before we take it to them. We can discuss that in closed session. I don't know how we do that, but we'll figure it out.
Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Anybody else have any old business? Okay, do we have any new business?
Yes, are we sticking to our meeting schedule for a work session and public meeting for April? At
Yeah,
this point?
we're gonna have to because of the budget. We kind of
Yes,
specifically set it around that. So we're not meeting to the end of April though, the last 2 weeks, I believe.
it's the 14th and 21st.
It is?
No, 28,
Hang on,
April.
maybe
April 28 is the regular session.
no, I have it on my,
I have
All right,
21st and 28th. I have the
all right, my
21st.
mistake on my calendar. Okay,
I'll
21st and
double
28.
check.
I have 14 and 21. Okay, thank you.
So basically, if he lifts the ban of less than 10 people together, we could have our meeting, correct?
Right,
I'm assuming, I mean, I know Trump just said April 30th social distancing.
Right,
So I don't know how that affects us, but I do know, as everyone else knows, Bergen County's been really hit pretty hard. So,
right,
um,
okay. All right, at
but
this
as soon
time,
as we can, yeah. I mean, right now, everything has been dictated to us what we're doing from the state level and the county level. So, like, we don't know when schools are going to open. We don't know when we can have a public meeting. So until we're told we can, we're going to have to do it like this. So from our standpoint, we're going to have to do our committee meetings like this. I think everyone did a good job getting on here tonight. So to get 3 or 4 of us in for a committee meeting should be easier. You could be anywhere to do it now. So
Right.
we'll try and get those going maybe towards the end of this week. And then next week is spring break, obviously. So I think everyone's going to want to unplug for a little bit.
okay, sounds good. Okay, at this time, I'm going to open up public comments. Can I have a motion?
So moved, Pat.
Pat?
Second,
Kathy.
Sabrina.
Second by Sabrina. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, at this time, if anybody would like to go into our chat with a question that they have, please come forward and state your name and address.
All right,
see.
Gabby Carpenter can talk now. She raised her hand.
Okay,
Okay, good.
It's actually Connie Carpenter, but thank you for that. Hey, it's when the kid knows what she's doing and I have no clue. Anyway, so my question is, on the agenda, your original agenda, there was not all the things that you voted on tonight. So are you going to update the website so we can see what's actually on the agenda for tonight?
I believe Frank, hold on. Yes, we'll have to add, I asked him to add the addendum. I don't know if I see it on there.
It's on the front on the alerts. I added on the second page of that. I'll put it on the agenda website side of it.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, very good. Thank you. And everyone, please keep safe and keep healthy. God bless us all.
thank you,
All right.
Connie.
Okay, I got another hand raised. I see Danielle.
Danielle?
Danielle Feedy, 178 Larch Avenue. I wrote in the chat, why do we have to register with our email to attend? We should just be able to just push Zoom and attend. I wasn't able to get into the meeting without registering and putting my email in, and I think that that restriction should be removed. please update us on the activities of the SWIOs while the school is closed. And I had the same comment as Ms. Carpenter. I could not find the complete agenda on your website. So it's hard to follow your meeting. Thank you.
Well, our regular meeting agenda is on our website. We had an addendum that we walked in tonight that's on the alerts, but he's going to post that right underneath the original. Our class 3 officers, before we went 2 weeks ago, we met. 2 of them wanted to work. 1 of them didn't have to. So right now they've been helping out with lunches. I actually going to meet with the chief, and we're going to discuss what we're going to do moving forward. I asked him to reach out to a bunch of other departments to see what they're doing with their Saleo 3 officers. So we plan on doing something with them after the break, one way or the other, because we don't want to lose them. So we have to meet with the police department to discuss.
Anything else, Danielle?
No, thank you.
Okay. Do we have anybody else?
Yeah, I got a Marilyn F.
Okay, Marilyn.
Yes, hi. So I'm Jane and Felice's mom. I just want to say that you guys have done an incredible job. And Mr. Kennedy, you should be very proud of how you have done the whole virtual learning. I think that compared to a lot of other parents that I know in other towns, we were ahead of the game. So I just want to commend you all. I just want to take the time to say that. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I have to just say, it has been a team collaboration effort from top to bottom. Our IT, our custodians, our lunch people handing out lunches, our secretary, everyone has done a good job and all hands on deck. So it's been a total team effort from top to bottom, and everyone's doing what they can to help out. I see another hand up. Let me just see who else. Is there anyone else have a hand up? I don't see any other hands up.
There was a question that came up on the screen before. Someone asked what you're doing with the leftover food, if it could go to the police or any of the.
Any leftover food we've been given to the OEM office, and they've been handing it out where they deem necessary.
Okay. Yeah, that had popped up on the screen while you were talking.
Anybody else coming through or no?
I don't see any other hands raised. I think we're good.
Okay, can I have a motion
Wait,
to?
I got one more.
Okay.
See you, Bernie.
Yes, hi, this is Carmel Burney, 162 East Courtney Road. I do also have to commend the teachers who are doing a fabulous job on the online learning. A little bit of a difference from the first 2 weeks, but we're adapting. Was there any thought put into moving the spring break to the end of the year?
Is there any way that picture can be taken off the screen, please?
Sorry?
That picture is not appropriate for a board meeting.
What picture?
It's a picture of a guy holding a gun.
Carmel, your Dominic's picture is
Sorry, I don't know.
Is there any way that can be taken off?
All right, let me see.
Well, I think is that your question? Because once I unmute you, that'll be it. Was there any thought?
No.
We
move this spring break to the end, towards the end of the year, so that the kids that are home have something to do during the week. Sorry about that.
Well, we looked at it a couple of different ways. The first was getting. The first is giving everyone a break, because everyone's been under a lot of stress, and if they don't have to get online for 2, 3, or 4 hours a day, and give people a chance just to relax, that we were going to get through this. It also was recommended that we just follow our school calendar, because if we do get back for a week and we have to give a vacation and we're only back for a week, we have end of the year stuff that we'd like to get into. So the suggestion was to continue with your normal school calendar and go from there. I got another hand raised.
Okay.
I think, yeah. Is it Bernie? Do you have another question?
No, I don't think it went away.
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, sorry. I'm just trying to get that thing off the screen.
All right.
Okay, anybody else coming forward? No?
Oh, wait, do I have,
Yeah, you have host.
I don't see any other hands raised.
Okay. Okay, at this time, can I have a motion to close public comments?
So moved, Pat.
Pat,
Second,
Kathy.
Maureen.
second by Maureen, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I just want to make one comment. On behalf of the whole board, we would like to thank the administration, the faculty, the teachers, everyone that's been involved in this, all our data people. I've been getting compliments left and right, messaging that we seem to be a school district that was well ahead of the game. And we've had our little problems, but they've been fixed. And I'm sure everybody agrees with me. You know, keep up the good work, and hopefully we'll be back to school soon. And everyone stay safe. Does anybody have any comments? No? Okay, I'd like a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Pat, seconded by Kathy, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, everybody. Everyone stay safe, and we'll see you soon.
You too.
Thank you.
Take it easy, everybody.
Bye.
Bye now.